for me, nature's one of the neatest things on this planet. That's why me and Eleanor started nature walks. That way, not just me and Eleanor know about how neat it is. How neat is that? That's pretty neat. Without a doubt, nature's one of the neatest things there is. That's why you always gotta, but however, nature does have its dangers. Sometimes you gotta come out here with something to protect yourself. Right here, boom. That's pretty neat. Oh, Score, look at what we got over here. It's a strangler fig. You can tell it's a strangler fig because of the way it is.
The strangler fig was a common sight throughout our Costa Rican adventure. We saw this specimen anywhere from the people's front yards to the middle of the woods. This plant is extremely important to the ecosystem and is recognized by locals and tourists alike.
Now guys, you know it'd be a great capper to a great day? Seeing a wild heliconia, native to Costa Rica.
Heliconia was a central observation of our group throughout the trip. Almost every time we had the opportunity to meet another guide, it would seem as though they would point out this plant as it was everywhere. It was used naturally, commercially, residentially, and practically everywhere else that we went. This was inspiring as it was native and also seemed to be a popular plant for tourists and locals to appreciate.
Now you know what gets me real excited? I get real excited at the opportunity every time when I see a gumbo limbo tree. Now try to find one of these. You gotta get down here. You gotta just shake up the earth a little bit, you know? Shake it up a little bit. That's just what you gotta do to get them to come out. Oh my goodness. Be quiet.
The gumbo limbo tree, or the gumba tree as Annie would call it, was probably my favorite species to learn about on the trip. The way the branches are cut off and can be used for fencing without harming the tree is outstanding. Then to make it better, the branches when put in the ground will root themselves, creating living fences. This is an agricultural phenomenon and an eye catcher for tourists, as it is something most people have never seen before.
Now sometimes shaking up the earth don't work. So you gotta start calling out to them. You know, you gotta go like, okay, here we go, here we go. Okay, right now, we're looking for a morning glory. But here we go. Here boy up, here boy up. Here boy up. There he is.
Morning glory is a native species to Costa Rica that wasn't a commanding force of a plant but was relevant enough to mention. It seemed to grow anywhere and everywhere it could take hold. It was scattered anywhere from city streets to the middle of Arenal National Park. I did not realize at first this plant was native here because it's a plant we see at home, but it is, and that contributes to the relationship this plant has with ecotourism. The relationship will be defined as most tourists know it, and this previous knowledge would pique their interest about the plant and other plants.
Oh my gosh, it's in that branch over there. Oh my gosh, it's flying again, it's flying again. Ladies and gentlemen, what we just saw, that was a quetzal. A full-blown quetzal. Oh, over there! Gosh, it's right over here.
Croton is an extremely common plant that seems to thrive in this climate. We again see this plant at almost every turn except in the forest. This plant is not native, but for not being native is extremely common, used just like nandinas or barberries are here in America. It was all over commercial and residential landscapes.
Now, gee dang it, we got one more to find. Right now, we're looking for sugar cane. I haven't seen any today, but we're looking for it. Come on.
This plant was originally introduced into the country to be grown agriculturally due to the perfect growing conditions in Costa Rica for the species. Today, it is most often just an invasive species that crowds riverbanks, sides of roads, and abandoned city lots. Thankfully, we did not see this specimen much as we traversed the wilder side of Costa Rica, but while en route through almost all of our adventures and at some adventures, this plant seemed to take over. This directly impacts ecotourism, whether one would say negatively or positively, I am unsure.
You know, not all too often you get this much neatness in one place. That's pretty neat.